If you looked at that scene for a little while, you'd think the rocks are so strong and the water so weak because the rocks remain and each wave breaks into a million little drops and disappears. But if you sat here for rather longer, or if you went away and came back, you'd see that that first impression was quite wrong, because the rocks will have disappeared and the water would still be here, which, I don't know, shows there's different kinds of strengths and first impressions are often wrong and so on and so forth. And sometimes change, you can't perceive it happening, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening. Anyway, I just thought that would be a nice view to look at when I'm reading this poem. This poem is the Neo-liberal rap. It was inspired by a certain health minister, Jeremy Hunt, going on the media to say he couldn't support health workers on strike for better wages. The junior doctors were on strike at the time because he cared so much about the patients. And I sort of fell off my perch because, I worked in a hospital at that time. And of course the Tory government had spent years closing wards, shutting hospitals, undercutting wages, keeping vacancies empty, etc., etc. And of course they must have been doing it because they cared. I don't think. And also, of course, I used to call it, the working title for this poem was The Caring, Sharing Tories. But of course, the Blair government started doing precisely similar, privatising parts of the NHS and carrying on with the neoliberal programme started by Thatcher. So I had to change the title of the poem from The Caring, Sharing Tories to The Neoliberal Rap, which I hope you'll enjoy. And it's dedicated to all the nursing staff who have saved so many lives and given so many of their own, 500 of them having died at least in the UK, and obviously many more around the globe, fighting this pandemic. And despite that, the government has, of course, refused to include them in the pay rise. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. Those poor patients we care so much. We've got the tender neoliberal touch. Junior doctors have no need to fuss. The NHS is safe with us, so shut down the wards and the A&E and the wasteful maternity. If you're only half dead, then you're fit for work. Everyone knows sick people shirk. What's anyone important got to lose? Line those ambulances up in queues. People should kindly treat themselves and sleep on trolleys, floors and shelves. It's people's fault for getting ill or old or poor and freezing in the cold. NHS overworked or overstrived, it doesn't bother us, the rich go private. Nurses and doctors don't care about you, and some of them look foreign too. Those poor people we care so much. We've got the tender neoliberal touch. If folk don't like it, we take a principled stance. Blame everything we do on immigrants. Of course there's a magic money tree, but only if you're rich like me. 90 billion for the banks, or was it 94? A zillion, squillion for the Afghan war. 500 million to wreck Iraq. Wonder if ISIS will give it back, just to say thank you. Defending our sovereign soil? Nah, it's all for gas and oil. 100 billion for Trident, more or less, but there ain't no money for the NHS. If folks don't like it, take a principled stance. Blame everything we do on immigrants. Those poor people we care so much. We've got the tender neoliberal touch. Pocket arms trade backenders, smile and wave. Praise all the dead for being brave. Casualty figures looking bad, just slap on a poppy and try to look sad. Cheer on the troops, off they go to kill and die for Texaco. Sell off council houses, slam that door. Divide and rule and blame the poor. Cut housing benefit and raise the rents. Why shouldn't people live in tents? We did all that, we're wreathed in glory. It's such fun to be a Tory, whichever party you're hiding in. The champagne's lovely, come on in. It all gets paid for out of tax, so fiddle your expenses and relax. Conscience trouble you? What for? Just vote yourself a pay rise and start a war. Those poor people we care so much. We've got the tender neoliberal touch. If folk don't like it, take a principled stance. Blame everything we do on immigrants. While we destroy the welfare state, time to whip up a little more hate. Time to take an heroic stance. Blame everything we do on immigrants. COVID pandemic, just a balancing act. The biggest balancing act on earth. How many lives is big business worth? 50,000, 100,000, maybe more. They're not worth much, the lives of the poor, unless they're at work making me money, just like little bees making honey. People's lives or the economy. Such an easy choice for me. If folk don't like it, take a principled stance. Blame everything we do on immigrants. The Tories have gone now. This last from me. Don't let them divide us, you and me. Immigrants are not the enemy. Remember one word, solidarity. Let's stand together. Let's smash austerity. Thanks.